Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Gear unboxing slash review video today. So you may have seen that I recently actually got a sling. It's not actually in relation to these replicas that I've got out, guys, I'm afraid. This is actually more of a sling-based video. You may have seen recently I got this Agilite Sling, which I actually really like. It's their Reflex 3D sling. I like how it's kind of very minimal, but it's got this padding here still. It's slightly wider, but not too wide. It's got this adjustment in here with this built-in adjuster. And so when I actually am playing a lot of the time, I will use a sling that is just like this. I've been using one that I've been kind of building based off something that Ollie Talks Airsoft recommended. Normally if I've got my plate carrier on, it's a little bit wider than this, but this basically allows me to adjust this so I can bring this up, I can tighten it into my body if I need to, and I really like this, and so far it's been a sling that I like a lot. The alteration that I've done with this is what I do on all of my 2-point slings, because I've been running more 2-point slings in the last couple of years, is I will basically have a moving Blue Force gear, single point sling there, and that allows me, if I want to have this as a 1-point sling, if I'm wanting to switch shoulders, and it can be a bit difficult to do that just with, sorry, you can't really see my face. It can be a bit difficult sometimes to do that with a 2-point sling setup. I'm not sure about this Reptilia mount here. I might switch that out. But obviously here, I can't really switch shoulders onto the other side. I'd need to remove that. Then I can actually switch it over if I need to. And so when I was actually doing this video on this sling and talking about this stuff previously, someone in the comments made a comment. Yeah, someone wrote a comment and said, hey, I use this sling. It's kind of like best case scenario. It means I don't have to adjust it. And so you should check it out. So I went and had a look at it. It's from a company called Warrior Poet Society. Sorry, yeah, Warrior Poet Supply Company. Is that right? I thought it was Warrior Poet Society. Let me just double check that, because I want to make sure. Warrior Poet. Yeah, Warrior Poet Society. But on the website is actually warriorpoetsupply.com. Supplyco.com. I'll give you the website here. So this is the sling that they do. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is actually quite interesting and a bit of a different sling. So what I'm going to do is I'll do an unboxing quickly, but what we're going to do after that is actually just watch their video down here where he kind of introduces how it's different and why he chose to do it that way. Because I think actually it's quite an interesting idea, and if it works, I think it's going to be awesome. So I'll do the unboxing and then we can kind of see what he says, and then we'll test it out on a couple of my replicas. I've got here the current channel favorite that everyone's tuning in to look at, which is the VFC KAC, Knights Armament KS1. And then we also have my little truck gun, the DDM4 PDW from CGS, EMG CGS. And then I've also got an APFG MPXK, which again, I love. And it's kind of, I was like, oh, maybe I'll do a shorter kind of version, a longer version. And then I saw my MPX and I was like, oh, I'll get that out as well, just so we can have a play around. Okay, so in there is just the shipping label. I did the option here where you can get it with the actual QD release points. So I got a couple of QD release points included in here. Cost of this thing is, what are we looking at? $85 to $109. The options that I went for is black. You can also get Coyote Brown. And I got 2 QD sling mounts at $26, which is quite a bit. So it's a $110 sling. Now this is meant for real steel. It's not meant for airsoft. Again, I think with airsoft, I get a lot of comments from people who are like, hey, oh, you don't need that for airsoft. I think you're right with a lot of stuff like optics, with lasers for sure, lights, etc. But when it comes to slings, it's basically the same functionality, and you're playing a game and you're needing to secure it in a certain way, and it's a toy, it's not a gun, so safety isn't quite as relevant, but you need to secure it in a certain way. You need to be able to access it and use it in a certain way. So slings for me, I would always just go with something that's real steel and worthwhile. Okay, so it looks like they've packaged this nicely. It's got these little elastic bands on here. The material feels nice. It's soft. I'd say it's like a little bit thicker, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I really like thin slings. So it'll be interesting to see if that translates as like I prefer it in any way to the Agilite. But it's fairly like small. It's not exactly the longest sling ever. And this basically is designed to be a 2-point. It's not designed to go to a 1-point. It's basically a 2-point. We'll go through the video that he's done now, but really the big selling point of why this is different for me is this. You've got this flex, and sometimes you will see the 1-point slings that you have, which have that flex in them, so that you can kind of like, you know, push it around and it'll move around and kind of stay tight without being too tight. However, the bungee slings and those kinds of slings, generally, I've not liked them because it's almost like you've got like a bungee attached to you and the weight of the gun is just bouncing up and down. Now, this is designed to be a 2-point, and we'll hear what he says quickly about it, but I liked the idea that actually this is supposed to be a 2-point. This here is just for more flex if you're wanting to transition it into a different area. So I won't install it yet. I'm going to put on my headphones just so that I can hear what this guy's saying because I've got it on that mode. But let's quickly, when you go to his website, you can actually go to here, which is this video, and we'll do a full screen of it so you guys can see. But I think these guys are pretty well respected. So obviously there's, you know, like this is not airsoft, this is real steel. I'm not going to watch the whole video. I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of like his thoughts behind why he's designed the sling this way, because I could talk about it, but I think I'd butcher it probably. Awkward.
Simply Safe has sponsored this video today.
Okay, so he's got Simply Safe.
So early on in the global war on terrorism, I started making my own sling. I looked around there and it was before this huge industry blew up with 1,000 different options, but I was not impressed at all with what I was issued. And so basically I took a stretch of tubular nylon and then I scrunched it up at one point. I made a little bungee section so that the sling had a certain amount of give, and I loved that sling. Then I went on to make a really terrible sling because I used too much bungee on the second prototype and then it bounced everywhere and it drove me nuts. But it set me on a journey, and basically what I was trying to do is I was trying to solve a problem. As a dude who is hunting around the deserts of Afghanistan or the cities of Iraq, I needed a sling that would hold my gun up close and tight to me, high and tight, so I could be able to walk, so that I could be able to use my hands, work on a casualty, go hands-on with somebody, lift something up, move something, push something, grab something. You need to be able to have a sling that holds your gun without your muzzle banging you in the legs when you walk. So I wanted something that kept my gun up high and tight to me, but it also allowed me a little bit of a stretch to come out on target. Well, fast forward to today, and we finally perfected what I wanted to do a long time ago. There's a couple really cool features like our Jedi buckle here, which allows you to just get out really quick.
So instead of having like the adjustment there, he's actually just got like a removal. So instead of having to like, okay, I want to adjust it to loosen it to take it off, you can just straight away take it off, which I like.
So if you're wearing a bunch of kit or something, and it's just downright fun to do, but also this big integrated stretch right here is a real game changer.
So this is what's going to be different.
Just a little bit of the whys before you can really appreciate the whats.
Definitely good at making videos, this guy, for sure. So it looks like there, when he's moving, he can kind of adjust it without having to release it. It's enough give to move it so that he can get the reload done.
All right, so very quick class on slings. You never want a sling that's too loose. When it is really loose and it's hanging way down here by your legs, so that when you walk, it's banging into your legs. Your can, if you've got one, is gonna burn the tar out of you, and then maybe you have to commit one hand to hold the gun while you walk. That defeats the point of a sling. You gotta be able to be free to use both of your hands, and you can walk. And notice, my gun's not hitting me in the legs when I walk.
So one thing is he also mounts his sling like right up on the back of the stock. I don't do that normally. I mount it at like the base plate where the buffer tube hits the actual, the lower. So I don't know, now watching him do this, and because he's obviously a professional and he knows what he's doing, that's making me think like, oh, maybe I should play around with like changing the location. So maybe what I'll do is I'll test that on this in a second.
And that's what you want from a rifle sling. You want it to hold the gun so that you don't have to. And you also want it up high. So you notice with my sling down right now, watch me put this in the pocket of my shoulder. Look, it's immediately in the pocket of my shoulder. It's like I can't miss.
See, that's because he's got that rear mount though.
And that's because the sling holds the buttstock up close toward the pocket of my shoulder. So it's basically idiot proof. It's always right there, so shouldering it is really good. So you want your gun up high and tight. But here's the catch. You also need to be able to get up on target, because the tighter your sling is, you may not be able to quite get a sight picture. And man, especially if you have to do something like come over
He's got
the
the
shoulder,
Daniel Defense,
or come to this retention position, and then be able to come out on target, or the real test to be able to do a shoulder transition.
See, that's what I want to do.
And the fact that I just did a shoulder transition with this tight of a sling should pop some brains out there, because you can't do that with other rifle slings. If it's this tight, you'll choke yourself out. You have to swim out of your sling. I wanted something where I didn't have to swim out of my sling anymore. Now there's also the quick adjustment ones, and basically that'll be like a little bit of a knob or a tail so that you can quickly adjust. What I noticed though is, because there was no give in there, I always had it tightened down, and when I wasn't using it super tight, I would basically react to contact, shot, 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 and then I would end up swimming out so that I could have free play to do.
So I think that probably like gives us the basis of what I'm trying to talk about here, which is that with this sling, if it works like how he says it works, because he's designed it and he's selling it, I love the idea that that is going to allow me basically to just shoulder transition, remove thinking about what am I having to do with my sling right now, and then, you know, go about it in a kind of more fluid, like easy way. We're going to see if that is the case. And I'm quite interested to see, because it's an expensive sling. You know, it's not, hold on, let me just make sure we're doing this right. It's an expensive sling. It's not like the most crazy. In fact, how he just did it, we had it sent. Let's see if that's possible to do it that way. What did I just have there? Okay, so if I have it, no, I need to do this. Okay, so I'm going to put this through here like that. No, I'm not. I'm going to put this through here like this. This is your lesson in how to do a sling, even though I'm not exactly the one to... Okay, this like here. This like here. Yeah. And I'm going to put this here. And again, I'm not going to run this as like a 1 point. I'm going to run this as a 2 point only. Like, there is no need to have that switch, or hopefully there's no need to have that floating Blue Force gear piece. Just make sure we get this. Try to like underhook it. And I might try, I'm going to try in both locations. So I'm going to try doing it with like the rear where I normally have my sling, close to the body. And then I'm going to also try doing it further away. Just tighten this up a bit. Okay, so we're going to have that there. And then we are going to, on this one, do the same thing. I'm also interested to test this out and just see how that works, because I can imagine, like, he's obviously designed it for a real steel firearm, and it's gone through a lot of testing, and it's a respected company. So I'm expecting that it is going to be hard to just like engage accidentally, but I can imagine that would be so bad as if you're like playing, especially with like a airsoft replica that's not built to the same standard, and then suddenly you accidentally knock that thing. And that would not be great. Okay. thread this through here. This is quite tight, so sorry for making you guys watch me thread a sling. It's probably not the most exciting thing to watch. Okay, there we go. Right, so effectively it's going to work like this. So I have this mount here, and then we have this basically on the underside. I'm already knowing that I'm going to have to get that tighter. Like, I'm not the biggest guy. So I think we can adjust this with this guy here. That's what I'm presuming. So we can tighten this guy up. And then this is actually like tied into here, which is quite interesting. Which is kind of nice because it's meaning you're not going to have a separate piece. Okay, let's see how that works in terms of length. And again, this is going to be like person to person, you know, like you're going to be playing around with this and figuring out how you like it. But I'm going to try it like that. We'll try it first on this KS1. Take this Agilite one off. I do really like this Agilite Sling, so I definitely would recommend you guys checking that one out. I've got a video on that, so you can have a look at it. So go to the channel and just look for KS1. So this is going to be it. If I'm like, that's nice and high, like he's kind of saying there. This was not clicked in, so that's not great. That's that reptilia mount more than it's the... Uh-oh. So this is not biting into this reptilia mount. Like, it's not fully seating in it, which is weird because the other ones that I've had have bitten into it. This is just fully just releasing. Is it the same with this? No, that one's locked in. So I'm thinking it might be like a faulty QD, although this is a repro. So let me just see. Like, this one was working fine on it though, which is the odd thing there. This is the QD. So if you look here, this bites in and that locks in fine. I then have to push it to disengage, which is a bit of a nightmare, but that's what's needed. This one here, if I push this in, it just comes straight out. Other thing is that's magnetic, and that is holding to the mag release there, the bolt release, the mag release and the bolt release. And you can see that that is a steel part because that's what's happening there. But this is annoying. That's working fine. This guy is not. So I think it could be that QD release. This QD is bitten in fine. Will it go in here? No, see, that one's not biting in. So it's this reptilia mount combo with this QD. They're just not liking each other at all. And I think the gap there between those pieces is going to be too small. So that kind of kills it a little bit on this one for right now, because I don't want to drop the replica. What I can do is switch it over, switch it to a different QD mount, which would be the only other thing. Let me just, yeah, so that's annoying. Okay, but this one is going in here. Yeah, that one goes in there fine. So I think it's basically this reptilia is like, it's just not good for this thing. So I'm going to pause it quickly. I'm going to go and get a different QD mount to put on here. And then we'll kind of, we'll make it work without using this because I want to test it on this for sure. One sec. Okay, so I found another one. This is, I think, a cheaper one, but this works fine. I think the issue is the gap that is between those ball bearings and the top. You see there's only a small gap on this one and there's a bigger gap on this one. I think these are good quality. I just would maybe bear in mind, I would probably not, if I ordered it again, I just wouldn't order the version with these clips in. I would just order the other and then make sure I had one that fits my attachment. I don't know if it has issues with other ones. It's probably just that Reptilia just having too thick of a collar on it, or the, sorry, reproduction Reptilia having too thick of a collar on it. But yeah, that seems to be the issue. So if I change this out now, and we just basically put this here, again, not a big issue. It's just, I've had that happen before, just not for a while. I would probably always get like something like a Magpul or some other like hardware manufacturer that I know does good versions. Magpul's probably the one I think that I've gone for the most. Okay, you just put this here, this here. Okay, so we'll keep that nice and tight. Right, so that hopefully now should work. The other thing I might do is actually get one of the ones with a very thin little bezel kind of thing here. So a thin little like sling loop so that I could actually rotate this around. Because again, it's just something I don't necessarily like. I put this on, this actual clip, because of the fact that it is what is shown as being on the like UK Forces contract. But I have to say, like, this kind of location for it being along the actual M-LOK rail, as opposed to like dropping off the top here or just being built into the handrail. I don't know, I don't like it as much. Okay, so let's try this again. Number 2. Oh, I also, while I was in there, got this, which is the other one that I tried out. So you see, this has some bungee in it, and this is the molly attachment one that I've like done in another video. So that basically goes onto the molly on the rear of your plate carrier, and then you have this, which is a single point sling. I like this and I think it works, but as I said in that video, I think it is for a specific kind of I think it's for a specific kind of like build. Like, so if you're using a PDW or an SMG, I think that works. I don't think it necessarily works the same for this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to change these out. Oh, now I've got the same issue with this one. Okay, no, that one's fine now. But again, that, if I hadn't pushed it and seated it properly, is not sitting in there right. So that's how it sits on me, which is perfect. There's no like real give in it at all. Normally what I would do is go to like use it here. But if I am using it on this shoulder, that's fine. At this length, I can't switch shoulders. Or sorry, at this location, I can't switch shoulders. So if I drop it back to here, which is where he has it in his video, and it looks like where he runs his slings normally, I could probably tighten this up slightly on this, because that is going to hit me in the knee there a little bit. But I have that right there, and then I don't really have the option to switch it. I'm trying to think, how did he do it on his... Does he have it? Oh, actually, hold on. Maybe he runs it over the top, which might be the better way to do it, because that allows me then to do that. Let's make sure that's secured in. Okay, so if I have it here, that's great. That's actually really nice. And then if I switch it, I can do that. But I don't, like, there's not a huge amount. Like, the give is there. Actually, yeah, it is. It is. I'm actually just not pushing on the sling enough. Like, I kind of didn't realize there's that much give in it. But if you can see here where that is there, that's full. I can actually push it pretty far, or like straight on. I can push it pretty far out. So it's just very sturdy in this. So I can use it, bam, 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 bam. I just need to make sure like I'm actually just pushing out first, then rotating, and then I can use it. Switching shoulders on it is gonna, switching hands on it is gonna be a bit harder. But actually, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it's definitely, you got to kind of like actually push, rotate over and use it this way. But I like it, guys. I mean, it's definitely cool. This thing here, which is the You know what I've done? Which I've just realized I've done. I'm actually running it the wrong way, which might actually be why. So this is probably the dumbest video. I'm hoping a few of you guys noticed that before. And now my issue is going to be that this one doesn't fit in here. It's because I switched it and now I've actually like screwed myself by doing the wrong way. So I was trying to pull with my shoulder on that. So that might be the issue that I'm coming up against there. Or not the issue, but the less flexible situation. Okay, so now I literally have to take these apart. I'm not going to make you guys watch this. I'm going to pause it and then I'm going to do it and I'll come back to you because I don't want you to have to watch me switch these over now that I've done that already. Sorry again. Okay, I'm back again and I've switched them now. So we've got the new version here and we've got the older version here. So if I put this guy wrong side, wow, I'm doing well in this video. Okay, so if I put this guy here, over the top, that's locked in, good. Then I can put this guy in here. That makes a lot more sense. Okay, so now that's holding nicely. Okay, so that is me here, right there. That's going into my shoulder. And then that is, again, I think it's too tight. I need to loosen it. Because with that there, like it's good. And I do have movement. And I do have, actually, hold on. I can switch shoulders there. It is like digging into my neck a bit though. That there. So I can do it. I can do it. It's just, again, it's quite tight. I don't know. I kind of feel like, guys, I would probably at the moment just prefer to run it the way I do, which is the, just having it with the adjuster. Because the adjuster here, I can just pull that and then I can move it. Whereas with this at the moment, it's like, okay, there, and that's perfect. Feels super comfortable, keeps it tight in. And then if I switch it over, I can do it. But you can see here, I'm just getting like, my neck is just getting slightly taken. And it's just, I'm having to keep it at force, which I think for real steel, it might be a good because you're kind of like, you've got that recoil control, but also for airsoft and just how inexperienced I am in comparison. It works, but I don't know. In terms of releasing this, because if I swim out of the swim out of the sling, I can quite easily do that, and that's kind of nice. It does have enough give there where I can move it quite easily. But this thing here, I basically just need to pull out, I think. How do I remove this? If I pull down and out, if I pull up. Oh, I have to pull fully back. Okay, so you have to grab it and then pull fully back, and that's magnetized there. The other thing I remember later in the video, he was talking about how they use plastic like pieces here, which is the same. No, Agilite using metal, but they use plastic pieces on here, which he said he liked because it gave it a failure point. Like if you kind of need a failure point at a certain like weight for a lot of these. And so like if it was caught on something, then you actually have that ability to like break it free. Am I going the right way with this? Okay, yeah, there we go. I was going the wrong way. So with that, I just need to basically pull this up, pull it hard, and then that disengages it, and then I can pull that out. So it is hard to do it if you're not trying to do it. If I just do that there, that takes it off. If I wiggling it around, then yeah, it's hard. I have to like specifically want to pull it. So guys, I think it's good. I think it's going to depend again with slings, like I've talked about before. It's like the people that really like this design or how you run your actual replica. I normally run it here and not on the rear, and I normally like that adjustment. So I think I'm going to stick to my adjustment. But in terms of like build quality is good. I think the person that wants that kind of give but not having like the adjustment, I think that's good. So yeah, I'll put a link to the video below so you can see that, but also actually just the page where you can go and buy it. So if you like the style of it, then you can go and get it. No affiliation at all on this one. Yeah, hopefully you guys found this interesting. For me, it's not going to be my everyday go-to. In fact, what I haven't done, which I said I would do, is switched it to the other replicas. So as I'm doing a sign out right there, let's try it on my little truck gun and just see what it's like on this, because that might be a different story for me. Maybe I'll keep it on this and not have it on the other one. This one I have to run it in that location there. So this keeps that super tight. This, I've got my ability to do that. I can deploy this and that's fine. My problem here is, again, it's going to be so tight to my body that I can't switch that to the other side. Like, I can kind of rotate around it, but there is no QD point on the end here. So I have to attach this basically to the base plate here. And if I'm going to have it, I need to have it longer, or I need to, as it says, like swim out of it and then go with it that way. So yeah, guys, I think for me, it's not going to be my go-to, but it is going to be a good one just to have and to give to friends or to use on certain builds if I want to do that. I hope you guys have a good day. The other thing I could do, actually, now I'm just thinking about it, is I could run this as a 1 point and just have it super tight, and then I've got a fast release for the 1 point. Basically just have that floating piece there, because this has got enough kind of like give to it. I mean, like not too much give to it where it would be a good, so if I'm talking about it basically, guys, like this. So instead of attaching it to the rail there, having it there, and then I've got enough give because it's got a really solid bungee on it. I mean, it's not what it's designed for. It's literally designed the opposite, to be a 2-point sling, but that's something I might just look into and try and test and do. So guys, yeah, this has been the Warrior Poet Society Sling. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back very soon with another video, and have a great day wherever you are. Goodbye.